Hi guys, Danny here, and welcome to my mod review of GasCraft by Emasher. GasCraft works like an extension to Engineer's Toolbox, and it can't work without Engineer's Toolbox. GasCraft adds various modules and different world gen with which you can produce and extract various gases and liquids, and then you can use the gases to produce energy, or you can use it imaginatively to kill a lot of mobs really quickly. So without delay, let's get started. Let's start off with some world gen. GasCraft adds two blocks, specifically shale gas and shale oil, at the bedrock layer. And I have shale gas here and shale oil there. And to extract gas or oil from them, you use this, the fracker module. If you put the fracker module on the bottom of the modular socket, as you can see there, I have the fracker on the downside of that and on the downside of that. It produces gas and oil. If I hold shift here, it says that if I input water into its input tank, it produces shale resource fluid into its output tank. And if you see the last sentence there, it says slick water doubles the output. I'll explain that in just a second. If I want to use it, takes that and that. As you can see, the tanks are nearly full, but because there is no water inside of these, they stop working. So if I was to add water like so, I have a fluid extractor there and there that takes the water out from this reservoir. We can see that water is slowly being extracted into the modular socket, and that gas is being slowly extracted out of the shale gas. And now the two tanks are completely full. If I go here, we should see this rising up as well. It hasn't now because I'm assuming the water has run out again. Yeah, just take that off, put water back in, and we can see this rise quite slowly. Because the oil tank is still not full, it still goes up. Now the fracker requires a lot of water to extract the fluids. However, it does so without taking energy. The two blocks have a finite amount of gas or oil, but I've extracted quite a lot of gas and oil, around 200 buckets, and they still haven't run out yet. So they do contain quite a good amount of both of them. The water has run out again. I just put more water in, and it produces more oil. When the shale gas or shale oil has been completely drained of its resources, it will be converted back into normal bedrock. If I use water as the fracking liquid in these machines, only 50% of the potential gas and oil will be extracted, and it'll be extracted at a rate of around 200 millibuckets per tick. However, if I was to use slick water, then all of the potential gas and oil would be extracted, and it would be so at the rate of 1000 millibuckets per tick. Now all I need to do is put a reservoir up there and fill it with slick water. You can see the slick water going on both sides. And if I go up here, put these tanks down, like so, we should see them fill up faster than they did with the water. So let me put more slick water in there. And as we saw, the oil and the gas were extracted a lot quicker, and the two blocks will not be wasted either. Here we have algae. Algae is used to make some of the different gases in this mod, and while it is not a part of GasCraft per se, it is a part of Emasher resource which you need to work Engineer's Toolbox and GasCraft. You find algae growing naturally on water, and you can harvest by clicking it like so. I'm in creative mode, so it will be destroyed if I do. However, if I was in adventure or survival, I could pick it up, and then if I just put it on a water block, it will spread onto the other water blocks eventually. The pool here, I started off with one algae block, and it eventually spread on to all the other ones. If I come back to this at the end of the review, I should see this whole pool being filled with algae again. So let me just break all the blocks except for the one, and we'll come back to see it later. Before looking at what the individual gases can do, we will look at how to make all the different gases. As you can see here, I have a refinery. The refinery works like a GasCraft refinery, and you can use it to convert oil into fuel. As you can see, it's taking in the oil and making fuel. However, in GasCraft, you use the refinery to turn natural gas into propellant. In here, I have a tank full of natural gas that I extracted from that block. If I just pump it in there, like so, we should see this tank being filled up with the propellant. Propellant is a gas that is used to make some of the other gases in this mod. Next we have the chimney. If you look into my other machines, you see that I've been using these GasCraft pipes to transport the gases and liquids around. However, if you didn't have GasCraft installed or didn't want to use it, you could use the chimneys, which are added by GasCraft. Chimneys are quite a cheap method of transporting gases from one machine to another. However, they can only output to a machine that have a module that will accept the gas. As you see there, I have a fluid extractor, and that's why the chimney gives out the smoke to the modular socket here. The chimney can be used by placing it on top of a furnace, a vanilla furnace, as you can see here, and then occasionally it will trap some smoke, and then I can use the smoke and pass it on into that machine like so. There are also other machines that you can put the chimney on top of, generators in fact, and the chimney works in the same way, as in it traps the smoke, and then you can bottle up the smoke and use it to make various things. If I take some coal and some ore, I just throw in some ore like so, and then replace this tank here. Like so, we can see the tank slowly filling up with smoke. The smoke inside of the tank is being drained from this machine, and when it's completely empty, right now we can see there's 13,000 millibuckets of smoke, but if we give it some time, we can see that the smoke is produced. As you see there, smoke was produced just there and is now draining to that, and again like so. So all you need to do is put the chimney on top of a vanilla furnace and let it smelt something, and will produce the smoke. Chimneys are actually quite cheap, and they are made like so, as you can see, just 4 bricks. And if you didn't have a machine to take in the smoke, you can also use the chimney to just give out the gases into the atmosphere. Be careful though, some of the gases are quite toxic and they will poison and eventually kill you. And next we have this machine which makes corrosive gas. You see here I have a mixer, and the mixer is used to mix items and fluids. I have to mix propellant with quicklime. So as the tank here is empty, I just go up here and throw in some propellant like so. Put it to output. I can see the propellant is going inside the machine. However, I need to put in some quicklime first. Let's see, this has 6,400 millibuckets of corrosive gas. So I take the quicklime, put it in there. I can see the machine whirring and working away. And there you go. 6600, 6700, and so on and so forth. And it will keep using up the quicklime and the propellant until it makes a lot of the corrosive gas. Next we move on to another machine build that converts propellant and gunpowder into toxic gas. As you can see here, I have a mixer again and gunpowder, and if I go here and replace it with propellant, give it a whack, propellant goes in, I can see the machine is working and now it's producing toxic gas. If I go behind, I should be able to see that the gunpowder is being used up. Next I have a build here which converts toxic gas into deadly neurotoxin. All I need to do is go here and put in some toxic gas, give it a whack like so. The gas should be outputted through there into the photobioreactor, which uses up the algae, and we can see it's working because it's green now, and if I give it some time I should see the tank here fill up with the deadly neurotoxin. As you can see, it says 1500 out of 64,000, but doesn't give anything there, it just says empty. However, if I just pick it up like so, put it down again, there you go, it says deadly neurotoxin, 2000 out of 64,000. And if we give it some more time, it should take in all the toxic gas and convert it all into deadly neurotoxin. And next we have two machines that you can use to output the GasCraft gases into the atmosphere. First we have the vent. The vent, as you can see, I have set to the first redstone channel, and this button also to the first redstone channel. That is because the vent only works when I give it a redstone signal. When I give it the signal, as in when I press this button, it will release 4000 millibuckets of the gas that is contained inside tank 1, which, as you can see here, is propellant. So when I press the button like so, it releases 4000 millibuckets of this propellant. I chose propellant because I can walk through it without being poisoned or dying. Now, after that, the gases go inside of the modular socket again, and when I press the button, 4000 millibuckets of the propellant will be released. Similarly, there is the exhaust. The exhaust can also give out the GasCraft gases, but unlike the vent, I don't need to give it a redstone signal for it to release the gas. Whenever there is 4000 millibuckets of the gas inside of the modular socket, it will release it. You can still see that there are spaces for the redstone and the redstone latch channels. However, that is only used to turn on and off the exhaust. So when I put this to output, it should release nearly all of the gas in chunks of 4000 millibuckets each. So you can see that's 4000 millibuckets, and that's another 4000 millibuckets, and it'll keep releasing the gases until there's none left there. As you can see, there's 0 left, and another 4000 was released. I think I had around 12,000 inside of it, and now all the gas inside it was released. Apparently not, it keeps going. And that's how it works. Next I have a machine that takes gases around a 3-block radius around it and stores it inside of its tank, the fan. If I go here, you can see that the fan does indeed suck gases into its internal tank within a 3-block radius when given a sustained redstone signal. I have given the redstone signal using the redstone input module, which I have under it, and this lever. When I flick this lever, the fan stops. When I flick this lever again, the fan starts. If I go here, it says I have around 25,000 millibuckets of hydrogen. And now if I take some hydrogen here and break it on the fan, it should increase by 4000 millibuckets. And it does. That is because the vials I have here contain 4,000 millibuckets of the gas, in this case hydrogen. So if I have the hydrogen break just here, it should take all of it inside here. Let's see if I break it here. It should take it all in and put it inside the tank. And next we move on to the generators. The generator here is the gas turbine. The gas turbine produces 10 redstone flux per tick for 80 ticks, or 4 seconds, with 1,000 millibuckets of any of the GasCraft gases. So if I was to use, say, the deadly neurotoxin, like I said, you can use any gas you want, put it in there, and give it a whack. I should see, and there you go, the machine starts working and producing energy. And because I have the generator there connected to this refinery, we can see that the refinery is turning on. You could, like I said many times so far, you can use any gas you want in the gas turbine and it will all produce that exact same amount of power. But if you want better energy output, you have to use this, the gas generator. The gas generator burns only hydrogen, GasCraft fuel, or natural gas. However, it produces 60 redstone flux per tick for 500 ticks for hydrogen and natural gas, and 60 redstone flux per tick for 1,000 ticks if you use GasCraft fuel. If you use GasCraft fuel or natural gas, they will release smoke, and then you can use the chimney to trap the smoke, and then you can use the smoke for different items. Checking back on the algae really quickly, you can see that it has indeed spread to all of the other water blocks. Remember, I only started out with one block there, and now I can harvest it if I wanted to, or I could make a machine using Engineer's Toolbox that will automatically harvest it for me. Next we start the best thing about GasCraft, which is actually using the gases. To start off, you have to make yourself this, the empty gas vials. You make it like so. And then, when you have the gas vials in your hand, if you right click on a container containing any gas, you will get a vial of that gas. Note that every time you click on something with the vial, you lose 4,000 of the gas inside the container. That is because the vials contain 4,000 millibuckets of the gas each. And as you can see here, all of the different gases have their own corresponding vials, and you can use them in different and explosive ways. First, we have natural gas. Natural gas is used as fuel in some of the generators, and it is used to make propellant. If you walk into it, you get damaged a little bit. You also get nausea and poison. And if you light it on fire, it explodes. So I go here and take these things. Go a little bit off because the explosion might be quite big, and I put the natural gas like so, and I walk into it. As you can see, I was not damaged, but that is only because I have my gas mask on. If you put the gas mask on, you will not be affected by any gas that you walk into. However, if I didn't have my gas mask on right now, I would be in a lot of trouble. Just take off my gas mask. And there you go. Nausea and poison. Always have milk with you. So even if you are poisoned, you can just do that. Okay, let's see its effect again. If there's animals around or any mob or so, they will also get the same effects. As you see, the cow was killed because of the poison effect. However, if I light it on fire, I don't even know where it is. As you saw, it exploded. Now, it should have left quite a big crater, if I remember, and there you go. Quite a big crater. So you have to be really careful if you're working with fire and natural gas at the same time. As you saw, I was also blasted in a random direction. So if you weren't in creative, if I wasn't in creative, I would have been in a lot of trouble. Well, I would have died from the explosion, and then I would have died from the fall damage as well. Next, we move on to the propellant. The propellant is used to make spray paint and other gases. The propellant gives no status effects, but it is flammable. So if I put some wood down like so, and I have the black spray paint, which is made like so. In fact, all of the different spray paints have similar recipes. And if I right click on the plank, it changes the color, like so. And if I use the propellant, walk through it, like I showed before, I don't get any status. I don't get damaged either. However, if I light it on fire, it does burn. It does not explode, however, but it does burn. Unlike the natural gas, which does that. Next we have hydrogen, which is used as fuel in the generators. It gives no status effects, but it is explosive. So we take the hydrogen and go over here. If I walk through it, no effect and no damage. Check I have no gas mask on. However, if I was to set it on fire, it does explode and I would have died. Next we have smoke. Smoke is used to make smoke bombs. It gives the effects of blindness and slowness, and it is not explosive. There's two ways of using the smoke. Either you can make it into a smoke vial or make a smoke grenade. The smoke grenade is made like so. And it's quite different from the smoke vial because while you can use smoke vial on the ground and you get blindness and slowness, as you can see here. And again, it also works for mobs. As you can see, the cow has blindness and slowness, but it's not being damaged naturally. But with the smoke grenades, I can do it from far away. There you go. It doesn't seem to work when it hits entities, but if you hit anything else besides that, it will work. And unlike the smoke vial, where you have to be close to the ground so you can click on it, you can use the smoke grenades from anywhere, say from up here. I can throw it down there, like so. Next we have the toxic gas. The toxic gas can be used to make weapons or traps. It causes massive damage, nausea, and poison. Let me just take the toxic gas. If I walk through it, you can see that it does indeed cause poison and nausea. If I wasn't in creative right now, I would be dead. Now let's spawn some cows. And there you go. If I light this on fire, it burns all of the gas and it kills the cows who weren't quite dead. Like so. Next we have the deadly neurotoxin, which is used to make weapons and traps. The deadly neurotoxin causes a lot of damage, withering, nausea, blindness, hunger, and slowness. You know that when a gas has the word deadly in it, that is going to be potent and killing things. You take some of the neurotoxin on the ground, walk through it, and you can see all of the effects there. Luckily, like I said, I'm in creative, so I don't actually lose any health. Just drink some milk. And now to test it out on some animals. Spawn some cows. And they're all dead. So yeah, you can have a lot of fun with this. As you saw, the cows eventually died from the poison, and the poison lasts for quite a bit as well. So even if they don't die from the initial damage, they will eventually lose enough health and die that way. Next we move on to the corrosive gas, which is my favorite gas, and in my opinion the best one of all of GasCraft because of how useful it is. Naturally, it is used to make weapons and traps. It does damage, and it insta-kills endermen with a 100% chance of ender pearl drop. It turns villagers, zombies, and witches into skeletons. It also turns zombie pigmen into skeletons, but with a 25 chance of turning them into wither skeletons. So, like always, I'll put the gas down and walk through it. Now, because I'm in creative mode, I get no damage, but if I was in survival, I would be damaged naturally. And now let's see the effect with some animals. Spawn some cows, and they should just die with the gas. And they do. Now we move on to the more interesting ones. If I put down some zombies, like so, put down the gas, any of the gas that the zombies make contact with should turn them into skeletons. And there you go. Just turn this one into a skeleton as well. Note that when they turn into a skeleton, they go back to full health. Let me just kill these. If I spawn some witches, it'll do the same. Any of the witches that get touched by the gas turn into skeletons. Next I have enderman. I spawn some enderman here. Corrosive gas will insta-kill them. As you see there, as soon as they were touched by the gas, they died. There you go. It also gives a 100% chance of dropping ender pearls. From my experience, they always drop 2 ender pearls. And next we have zombie pigmen. Spawn a few of these guys. And when I put down the gas, let's see how many of them are lucky enough to turn into wither skeletons. I definitely saw one there in the mix. And there you go. At least one of them turned into a wither skeleton. Oh, 2 of them. 2 of them turned into wither skeletons. Spawn more of these guys. And wait for a second. I definitely saw more guys that turned into the skeletons. And when the gas clears out, come on. Ah, unlucky there. Oh no, wait, no. I had at least one extra skeleton there, so yeah. And there you go. And that's the corrosive gas. And with that, I've covered all the different items and machines and modules and gases that comes with GasCraft. If you liked the video, please leave a like or subscribe for more Minecraft videos. And thanks for watching.